everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today is my first post for Joy Clair Designs. I was asked to be part of their design team. They're brand ambassadors. Same deal. Anyway, I used this My Heart set. This was designed by one of the ladies on the design team. She did a beautiful job. This is a really cool set. So what I did is I printed it out. These are digital images, by the way. I know that they will be selling stamps, like actual physical stamps in their store, and they do have some. And Joy Clair Stamps or Joy Clair Designs was recently purchased and is going to continue to operate. So if you have some of their older stuff, that might be sort of cool to pull out. I know that they are kind of getting rid of all their old inventory and starting new, and if you want to shop in their store, I would suggest you do. I'll have a link below as well as a coupon code. So I pulled out some really cool colors, not like cool as in cool tone, but cool as in neat. For that purple that you've seen, I used the B69FV2, V06 and V04. And it created kind of this glowing purple. Then for the blue, here I used B18, FB2, B16, and B24. That also created kind of a glowing color. For the electric green, I'm calling it, it's YG17, of course it is, the FYG2, the YG25, and the YG01. I wanted these colors to kind of feel like they had light shining through them, almost like this was stained glass and not just a quilted heart. But I'm calling this combo Caution Orange. It's YR09, YR04, YR12, and FYR1, which these F colors, the ones that you hear, those are the fluorescents that Copic has. I was able to pick those up recently, so those are brand new to my collection, and I think that they're going to add so much fun to my markers. For the rich red combination, I used one of my go-tos are 24, 29, 46, and 89. It went really well with these colors, and it gave me that real true red that had kind of a glow from within. And what I'm showing you, I'm not going to show you the coloring for this whole heart. What I was showing you is the combinations that I used that got me to the end. I'm going to show you a few extras here before I get to the yellow combination. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have two next to each other. I tried to make sure that they weren't even like in the vicinity of each other. By the time I get to the end, I have two that are kind of close together. They don't really touch, but the points kind of come together. Anyway, beside the point, I wanted this to glow. I really, really wanted these colors to jump off the page. I wanted it to be striking and stunning and beautiful. And this is the point where I realized I really needed to add a yellow. So I chose a bright yellow combination. It's YR14, Y17, Y08, and Y02. And it really does glow well with these other colors. That YR kind of gives you that nice I guess shadow without having to go too orange, because I do have that orange combination. I didn't want it to look orange. I wanted it to look truly like a yellow, and that is what I did. So this is the last one here I'm going to show you of coloring this heart. And then by the magic of editing, it will be completely colored in. Look at that. So here is one that I printed off, and I actually tried to cut it out, and my silhouette was acting up, so it didn't cut it out right. But what I decided to do was to use it. I didn't want to throw it away. None of the images or anything that I could really fussy cut out completely because of the way that it cut him in the wrong place. So here on this heart, I am picking a few of the shapes that are colored. Well, all the shapes are colored on the other heart, but I'm picking a few of the shapes, and I'm coloring them identical to the heart, to the pieces on the fully colored heart. I want to highlight one piece of each color. So I have so far a red, a yellow, here's a green, and I did show all these again, so if you wanted to see how I colored them, you can. This is that really vibrant glowing purple, and those colors don't look like they blend well at all, but in the end it really does make them glow, like there is a light behind it. I can see doing this in so many ways. I need to figure out how to use my silhouette a little bit better because I would like to create an actual like stained glass looking card with this. I think it would be really pretty. So here's the last one. I'm adding this orange color over on this triangle. I didn't have to be super careful staying in the lines, although it is hard for me to color outside the lines. And then I had this spool of thread here that I had cut out with my silhouette when I trimmed out the whole set, when it actually worked right. And I colored this with the same orange combination I used to color the pieces on my heart. This fluorescent violet color is so pretty. I absolutely love it. So for this spool, I made this brown, kind of like one of them old wooden spools, but I think it probably is one of the plastic ones. I don't know. And then I used this purple glittery gel pen to add purple glittery jelly pen lines to this thread. I thought that would be super fun, and it just went really well. So here you can see my pieces, they're all colored up. And here are the pieces that I colored on the other heart. And I trimmed these all out, made sure I cut them right on the line, and then I used a marker to edge the pieces. By running the marker along the edge of the paper, it takes away any white that you might see in contrast. I didn't want these to really show that they weren't part of the main image. I want to add this dimension. You'll see it later. It's a really cool dimension that you don't see right away, but as you hold the card, you'll definitely see it. So that's why I went around the edges there with the black marker. So here I was trying to decide how this was going to look, and see, even if I just laid them on top, you can't even tell they're there because they're colored exactly like the ones below it. The problem here was I knew that yellow piece was going to be popped up, and I didn't want to layer the spool of thread over top of a popped up piece. This lawn fawn die, I believe it's called quilted backdrop. I ran that through my die cut machine with a piece of purple cardstock, and I did use some Scotch removable tape to adhere it down. See here, look at that Scotch tape will rip before it rips your paper. I love this stuff, but I had to hold it in place because of course, my piece was cut to an A2 size, and the die is basically A2 size, so I wanted to make sure it didn't shift. Then I used this little Spellbinders tool. Is it Spellbinders or Sizzix? It's a Sizzix tool, and I made sure most of the pieces were popped out. Then I took my Copic markers that I had used for my purple combination. It's the FV, so the fluorescent 2 marker, and the V04 marker. I went first with the darker, which is the FV2, and I went on all the lines, and then I blended it with this FV4. Not really blended it, kind of just went over the edges there, and it blended into the cardstock a little bit more. But right in the center of each of those squares, it's just the regular cardstock colors, so you get like this blend, and you get this dimension to the background that you didn't have before. So it kind of adds some really cool texture, kind of visual texture. Then I decided that I wanted to add some actual texture. So I pulled out the mat from my, I think it's from my Stampin' Up platform that I have, and this old ball stylus, and I flipped my panel over and I scribbled or embossed the back of this panel here. This is the way we used to emboss. We had to do it this way. There was no fancy machines. You just scribbled on paper. Anyway, I went around. I didn't do the whole thing because I knew the center was going to be covered up, but it added a lot of extra dimension and kind of texture to this. And then I pulled out this kind of aqua color here. It doesn't exactly match the blue, but behind the purple, it kind of glows, and it gives that same kind of feel as the whole heart does. I think that it just adds to the feel of this so much. Kind of looks quilted, and the heart is quilted. There's like little black stitch lines between them, so it's super fun. So here is where I was like, well, that yellow piece is going to be popped up, so I need to make sure I find a different place for the spool. So I did put little pieces of foam tape on the back of all those like quilted pieces, and I didn't go all the way to the edge because really I didn't want you to accidentally see the foam. I kind of wanted it to be mysterious and floating. And then I took one of the sentiments, decided that that's kind of going to ground my image there. It's going to kind of give you a visual table, I guess, on the card. And then I started popping in all of my pieces. This went together so fast once I had all the coloring done and everything. I really hope I did her card or her stamp set justice. Lindsay, I don't know how to say your last name, Adreon. She designed this and it's so pretty. Oh, I decided to pull in this needle that I hadn't colored. I just used some C markers there to add a little bit of shading. I adhered down my sentiment, which I did cut out with my silhouette, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's not like a straight strip, kind of, I don't know, fussy cut kind of with my silhouette. So there is the card front. You can see all that dimension, but it's kind of subtle dimension. And I really do love it. I think it turned out so pretty and I feel like it just glows. So then it was on to the inside. So here's my card panel, or my card base. And I had a second sentiment that I adhered to the inside. And then I adhered my card panel to the outside. I think I did it in the other order though. I probably adhered the front to the card base and then adhered the sentiment to the inside. It just, when I cut out all of the pieces, I cut out all the sentiments. And then my Spectrum Noir glitter pen here has been acting up, so I like made a mess with it. And I just got a paintbrush out and spread that around. It was okay, I guess. And then I used some glossy accents over the needle. Really didn't do too much to embellish the card. It has so much texture and so much color that I thought it didn't really need anything extra. I don't know. Do you think I should have added some sequins, or I think I have some buttons. I could have probably added some like super tiny buttons, but I just felt like there was a lot with all that color in the center. I just felt like it was a lot. Anyway, thank you for watching my very first video featuring Joy Clair Designs products. I am excited to be able to share videos and blog posts for Joy Clair twice a month from here on out. And I'm so excited to see what the products are going to be. And if they're anything like this one, I am thrilled. So as I always say, give cards generously. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye!